Hey everybody, this is Drew Bell here, and this is the final video of this particular episode of Cognition. Now, before I begin anything, since this is the final one and there's going to be something that's going to be questionable, this is the third time I've mentioned this, but it's really worth noting because people are getting confused about this. It can't be said enough times that Cordelia is seeing the vision that Erica is also seeing, the recurring one where she gets shot in the head, and so she won't be here. She's not going to be here. That said, let's begin. Now, there's really not much else here. There's a dark area, but we don't need to deal with that yet. What we want to do right now is to take a look at these papers that John was a little bit puzzled about.
There's gotta be something here. There are some papers here. Some titles for Jeff Therrien. They say he's got several $1 million. Look at this. It's the Smiths' will. The money was to be divided among the 3 siblings, signed by their parents. Wait, there's another one. This one is signed by Scrobius as the family lawyer. What? The money was left entirely to Keith. This must be why Max was so pissed at Scrobius. But why would he go through all that trouble?
So if all of this money was left to Keith, all of the money in Scrobius's will here would leave all the money to Keith. This one appears to not. This one's to be evenly split between all of the siblings. So why would he give special treatment to Keith here? Well, let's post-cog these and let's see what happens.
Scrobius forged this. But why go through all that trouble? Wait, what's this? Jeff Therrien is... Holy shit! He's Scrobius' son! Shit!
So, all the money is going to Keith because Keith is Scrobius' son, not the Smiths. And he's not a Smith. He's a... Scrobius? Scrobius Jr.? I don't know. Either way, so that's why all the money is going to Keith and not the others. And that's why Max was so upset about it, because he knew that all the money was going to Keith, and that if something interesting was to happen to Keith, it would all go to Scrobius. This is an interesting looking note.
A note addressed to me? I've got a bad feeling about this. I'll take the note. There's a key attached to it. Jeff Therrien is the Cain killer. Who is the Cain killer? Yeah, that's what I want to know myself.
So this is where everything's coming together. Jeff Therrien is the Cain killer. Who is the Cain killer? Obviously, Jeff Therrien. So Jeff Therrien was the one who murdered Scott and had the hood, and in that vision before was chasing Cordelia. So, let's leave here for a moment. Let's see what's in here. Or, sorry. Get that lighter. So we can see.
Oh my god. No. I'm so sorry, Keith.
So the question is...
He worked on projects for her. This is probably all he could do to stay sane down here. If he is still sane.
Why did Cordelia do this to Keith, and why... Well, I mean, it appears from what we've seen in the episodes before that Keith is pretty good at tinkering with gadgets, and so, you know, she would use him to create these things that she's been using in the past 2 episodes, including the Le Pendu. Let's take a look at this. We actually can't look at it until we
there we go.
Use that key on it like we did the other one.
Here we go again.
So this one is a direct. Who is the Cain killer? And there's no clues to this one, but you should know the answer to this by now. It's really got 5 letter sliders here. There's only there's only 2 people we know with 5 letter names. One is Erica, and the other one, we know that Jeff Therrien is the Cain killer, and we know that the Cain killer is really good at fiddling with tools. And really, at this point, there's no clues, because at this point you should know the answer to this. We don't need clues. This is just, well, it should be clear at this point that Keith is the one who murdered Erica's brother Scott.
Oh my God.
This one has a second name on it. Jeff Therrien.
Why is it on Keith's claim release?
This is all weird stuff.
Every case you worked on, hoped it had something to do with Scott's killing. He's been quiet for 3 years. Maybe the guy died, who knows, had a heart attack. The guy was on fire last time anyone saw him, you know?
It's that same look in his eyes that was there when Mom and Dad died.
Erica, please help me!
Keith?
No! No!
Do it.
No! No!
So when I said that everything would be revealed in this episode, including that, I meant that as well. So when they were talking before about putting him behind bars, they're talking about Keith. They want to put Keith behind bars, but Keith clearly seems to want to make only one of these people survive, just like in episode 1, where either Erica or Scott was going to survive, but only Erica did. So we know what to do here. And this is a really good video, so I'm gonna shut up here.
John, god damn it!
Did you kill your brother, Mrs. Mann?
Yes. Yes, I did.
So that was Cordelia already seeing the vision that she was going to be interrogated by Davies later. It's a really, really great video. Now, so why I kept trying to reinforce that that we had to pay attention to that vision, where Erica shoots John. If you pay close attention to the recurring vision versus the one that you saw in the ending here, normally the person has a gun, and in this particular video here, in this ending video, you did not see the person holding the gun. See, what happened was Cordelia wasn't there, but Erica, I guess, forgot or didn't think about it. But you know, Erica sees that vision so many times, she's going to shoot whoever comes down the stairs first, and it wasn't Cordelia, it was John. So John comes down the stairs and he gets shot. So that's what happened. I really love that video a lot. I'm really happy to see that the release finally came out. I thought it was really great. I knew it would be great, you know, long time ago, long before episode 2 was even done. I knew it would turn out well, and a lot of people are liking it. And it's frustrating because I think that this is our best project yet. Yet it has less. There's a lot of 8.5 ratings or 8.7 ratings. There's not enough 9s, and come on, reviewers, this is a 9 episode. It's a solid 9. People. I mean, of course I'm biased. I worked on it, but I mean, this is being rated better than The Wise Monkey, which it's not a bad episode, but it's nowhere near as the story wasn't anywhere near as good as this one was. So anyway, I think that this is a solid 9, and whatever. Even if the reviewers don't want to admit it, I think it's the best one we've done. So anyway, I had mentioned a long time ago that I wanted to talk about the role of John in the game, but I'd never seen any discussion about him, so I didn't. But the first, when I was focus testing episode 1 a long time ago, like a year ago, and I was looking at that long. Do you remember that long conversation where you see that ghost John in the antique shop, and Rose talks to John? There were a lot of things that I came out with that conversation. First of all, that kind of conversation only happens in stories where either John was either going to die or he was going to betray Erica. I figured one of those two would happen, and well, it turned out to be both, but still. So that was something I wanted to talk about, but nobody ever seemed to think about John, so alright. But that also explains why John also accepts Erica's visions, and is the only one that Erica trusts with those visions. So, that was because John knows that they were real. John figured out they were real when he started believing Cordelia. So that was your clue there, that John had seen something like this before. But, John failed to save Scott when Cordelia said that was going to happen, so, that's what happened. So actually, this is an interesting note. For the longest time, you know, when I first figured out, when I first knew and figured out that John was going to get shot, at least, it was really up in the air, and I'm not kidding. It was really up in the air for a very long time whether or not John would actually be dead or not. And because apparently for the story, it could be malleable, which one or the other, and I can't reveal which one is going to happen, whether John is dead or not, but I can say that I have adamantly pushed for John to actually be dead, because, and not to be cruel, but it's because I think that if someone dies a memorable and good and meaningful death in a story, they should stay dead. I mean, this isn't. I'm thinking about that season, the last season of Lost, where Saeed got killed, but then they brought him back, and that was kind of stupid because he didn't do anything. So they had a memorable death for Saeed, and then they never brought him back. And oh man, it's already the ending here. I'm going to be talking a lot after these quotes, but I've actually never heard these before, so I want to hear this.
Cain's lair. He planned it all here.
Oh, I guess that's it. So yeah, Cain's lair. We're gonna deal with Cain. Don't worry. It's called the Cain Killer for a reason. The episode, I mean. So, yeah, I mean, you know, Saeed dies, and then they bring him back, and he does nothing. So his death was completely meaningless. That's what I'm talking about. It's what a lot of bad writers do. So I really, really have pushed for John to die, but some people disagree with me, and also it should be noted that my feedback usually doesn't get any attention. So, you'll find out. But anyway. Now, also during a conversation, I began to think that, well, I'm switching the topic to Cordelia for a moment, because I was wondering what Cordelia's role was as well. And at first I thought she was not a real person, because I also figured out that she was the Hat Killer, you know, really early. I was thinking, okay, well, nobody ever sees Cordelia except Erica, so I'm thinking, okay, she's sort of a spiritual manifestation of the guilt that Erica has for the loss of her own brother. And it turns out that's not the case, obviously, because we just saw Cordelia is a real person. I also thought that, if you remember way back in episode 1, the hangman did not kill all of his targets. There was one person named Nadia Schwartz who he was not able to get to. And knowing that Dexter is part of, yeah, the TV show Dexter is a little bit not related, but what would you say? Had a hand, I guess, in some of the stuff that's in this game. I thought, okay, this is going to be like episode 5, where I guess I shouldn't spoil any of that, but there is one person who was not killed out of many, and so she took revenge. So I figured that actually Cordelia was a fake name, and that Cordelia was actually this Nadia Schwartz who was able to survive the hangman. But it turns out Cordelia is just Cordelia, so I figured this would be a good time to mention it. So here's a question that I pose to you, if you've been, and I'll get to the teasers. That's for the people who are actually watching the end of this video. But for now, I have a question: is Cordelia evil, or is she not? Katie and I we had a little bit of discussion, and Katie and I have said that she is. But says that she's not. Now, I wholly believe that right now Cordelia is evil. She kills authority members because they're stupid or they're lazy. She manipulates Erica. She mutilates her love interest just as a means to an end. I believe that, quote, Cordelia died 6 years ago when she shot Max. I think she's just now the Hat Killer. The Cordelia that we saw in this episode is not Cordelia anymore. This Cordelia is just, just an empty shell of what she used to be. Says, on the other hand, believes that it's a person's goals that determine whether someone is evil or not. And he says that Cordelia's goals may have a twisted morality, but she's not evil because she's trying to do good by she's trying to do good for Erica by her actions. So it's her actions for Erica that makes her not evil. So this is a good place to debate that. Is Cordelia evil or is she not? Okay, so now you want me to talk about Ep 4. Well, actually, at the end of when episode 2 was released and I talked about episode 3 a lot, I knew a lot about episode 3 at that point. I don't know too much about this one actually, because we've been kind of split between 2 projects. Oh my gosh, I didn't think that we'd ever get this out on time, because 2 weeks before the end, 2 weeks before we released episode 3, this was not a final product. I'm so proud and really amazed that this thing was ever put out on time, but we did. But we are also working on Mobius, so right now, we're doing Mobius right now, so I don't know as much about Cognition 4 episode. I know that it's being worked on, but okay. I know that it's going to be shorter than at least episode 3 or 1. I know that it's going to be more action-packed. There's going to be a lot of kicking ass, I suppose. Not as much puzzle. Well, I don't know about puzzle side. I just know that's going to be more linear than the other ones. So you're still watching. Here's a really fun little teaser. So while I was working on episode 2, comes up and talks about what I thought was a joke that was going to be in episode 4. Because there was just no way that we were going to put this in the game. No fucking way that this was going to put in the game. So he talks about it, and I'm thinking, yeah, okay. Nice little joke, haha. Because it was kind of funny what he was talking about. And then he brought it up the next month, and I'm saying, okay, that's interesting. We're not going to do that, though, are we? 2 weeks before release, I see this storyboard of exactly what he was talking about, and I'm thinking, oh no, oh man, we're really doing this? Oh no. And I can't wait for everyone to be able to see it. And it doesn't have anything to do with murders, but it's really awesome. And I can't say anything more than that, but man, oh man. I'm just going to say that I thought it was a joke for a bunch of months until I actually saw the storyboard. I'm like, oh, we're doing this. It's awesome. But that's all I can say about that. So that's all about Cog. So I will plan to continue Tales. I hear that the rest of the episodes are pretty decent, which is good because I don't think episode or chapter 2 or whatever, Spinner K, could be any worse. So I really did not like it all. I did not like that at all. So I will continue I will continue Tales when I can. I can't really soon, but I will try to get that done. I don't know, weeks or so. I'll start again. But we seem to be in the belly of a manatee and not working in stupid jungle ruins anymore, so that should be fun. We'll see. So, until then, I hope you've had a good time watching this episode, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Later.